So recently, PSG got their asses knocked out, which is many seasons in a row of failing to win the Champions League. Last season, obviously, they went to the final. This season, they got as far as the semi-final.
Yep.
And the cameras focused on Neymar quite a lot because Mbappe was obviously injured and Neymar was sort of expected to be the man to carry PSG over the line. And he's not done that. And he's not
Mm.
done that for many seasons now. And you could say he was brought there directly to win the Champions League. I mean, that's got to be it. Like, why else would he have gone there to piss about in the in the French league?
I mean, partially, I think it was money as well because they paid a lot of money for him.
Yeah,
But also, of course, like PSG has a lot of money, and maybe he was expecting the team to buy other world-class players. But I don't think it turned out right. I think their intention was good, but
I
their execution wasn't great.
Yeah, I think sadly their moments kind of passed because a few seasons ago they had a genuinely really strong team. Like first couple of seasons, Neymar was there, like when they had Cavani and Verratti when he was younger. They were such a strong team. It's just the key ingredient missing was they were total bottle jobs. They were like the Tottenham of fucking Europe. Like the
Yeah.
sheer amount of like results in Europe where they just completely threw away unassailable leads to the remontada by Barcelona, and then there was Ollie Solskjaer's Man United with fucking Ashley Young at left back is dunking over you 3-1, then seriously, there's a mentality issue.
Yeah, agree.
You can't have Ashley Young captaining a team to beat. Come on. That can never happen to an elite side. I think their mentality has improved the past 2 seasons because obviously they got to the final and the semi-final. Losing to Man City, no one should be ashamed of that. It's fucking Man City. But the issue is they're not as strong a side now. PSG. Ander Herrera's there. As much as I like him because he used to be at United, he's a bit of a nothing player. He has a lot of bite, but he contributes very little. Who the hell are the two fullbacks playing at PSG? I can't even name them at the moment. I have them on the screen, but like, who the fuck are they? Who the fuck are they? I thought these lot were rich.
When they played Barca.
6-1. They lost 6-1 in the
Yeah,
second leg.
6-1.
Ironically, that's probably Neymar's greatest performance. That game, Neymar played so sensationally well that it kind of put himself on the spotlight. And I think for a brief moment, everyone's like, hold on, maybe this guy is as good as Messi, which made the transfer away from Barcelona all the more shocking. Look, I don't follow Neymar that much. His highlight reels are enjoyable. Obviously, him taking the piss out of defenders, who doesn't like that? And the diving, obviously, is funny to make fun of.
Love it.
But I guess a lot of people read his transfer away from Barca as him trying to get away from Messi's shadow and make a name for himself and be, the one man. And unfortunately for him, if this narrative is true, going to PSG quite quickly, he's overshadowed by yet another star player that could be an all-time great in a few years.
Right.
In Mbappe. So he fucked himself.
I think he could have benefited from playing next to Messi because there was just so much to learn from him.
What is like Neymar's legacy then? Will he be remembered as someone who sort of chased the glory? Someone like a LeBron or someone who's genuinely elite? Because when he left, like Barcelona went through some hell.
I mean, there's no doubt he's a great player. I think he's got great abilities as an individual player. But I don't think he's got the right mentality for trophies. I think he's more or less a showboater, but that's about it.
Sadly, I have to agree. As much as I like the entertainment value of it, and God knows, like, football needs more entertainers. Okocha, Ronaldinho's, George Best, players that get you off your seat.
Lingard.
With Neymar, a lot of what he does on the pitch seems to benefit the YouTube compilation as opposed to helping the team win. He overruns the ball a lot, he over dribbles it, and he could afford to do that against, farmers in France. But semi-final in Europe, that was not a good look. Like, the amounts of time he lost possession, gave the ball away. He had such a nothing performance. It was basically like a 4 out of 10 performance. And unfortunately, I think at Barcelona, he was kind of carried by such a great side and he could afford to do all these tricks and mess about and get away with it because they were such a good team. Like, the coaching wasn't great, but like, they had some GOAT players in, Messi, Iniesta, Busquets, Suarez, them lot.
When it comes to players like Neymar, I think the role of managers are very important.
Yeah.
So yesterday I watched the Tottenham documentary. I think it's called All or Nothing.
Yeah, I love that documentary.
And yeah, I saw how Mourinho's handling so well the players. I mean, if he played under Mourinho, he would have benefited a lot. But I think what I'm questioning is what did the managers do to sort of change his mindset, his mentality?
I mean, when Neymar first got there, it was the guy before Luis Enrique. I forgot his name. It was not the greatest coaching when he got there. Before that, it was the Guardiola system. And under Guardiola, you tend to find a lot of individualistic players. They look quite generic.
Right.
Mahrez at Leicester was so full of flair, but when he got to City, he had to like tone it down to fit the system. When people compare Bruno Fernandes to like De Bruyne, Fernandes has better numbers, but in a City side, his numbers suffer, but the team probably plays better. And maybe Neymar just never quite got that because Enrique won like the Champions League with Barca, but he was not a great coach. He's no Guardiola. So having a front three of Messi, Neymar, Suarez, the Champions League wins itself.
Yeah.
He didn't really implement much to it, and by the end, it really showed. Like the cracks were really showing, them getting battered in Europe by Juventus.
Yeah.
I don't think Neymar really got that like tactical understanding of the game. I mean, to be fair, PSG had Thomas Tuchel, who everyone lauds as a tactician, but he's quite reserved and he's known to have spats with players. And it seemed from the outside, from all the headlines and some of the interviews Neymar conducted, that he sort of ran the show because he was the expensive toy. So it was more like he was in charge rather than Tuchel.
You see, like that's the role of the manager when it comes to football. The players can't be bigger than the club or the manager, and I think the role of the managers is for them to know that.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's why I like managers like Mourinho and Fergie.
Yeah.
They seem to do that pretty well.
I mean, I don't blame Tuchel for not picking a fight with, the most expensive and biggest asset in the team. When his reputation wasn't what it is now, he kind of had to earn his stripes over time by earning everyone's trust, eventually getting PSG final. And I know it all went downhill after that, but people started respecting him more after he got them to the final. And now at Chelsea, obviously Chelsea have great players, but none of them, I doubt their egos are quite as mammoth as Neymar's. So right now at Chelsea, everyone's like buying into his system, and he can be quite crude with his man management now, with how he's treating Werner, and so his reputation's definitely built up now. But back then, Neymar definitely lost the entire team, which is like just funny because Mbappe completely outshined him soon after.
But I think Mbappe and Neymar are just two different players. I mean, as much as I love them both, I think in terms of talent, I think Neymar has it, but I think Mbappe has like sort of everything: the talent, the mentality.
Mbappe's in a good stage in his career where he's got a great combination of those physical attributes like the speed and the power. And I think Neymar went to PSG expecting them to play around him, but what he didn't expect probably was for PSG to play around Mbappe and for Neymar to be dilly-dallying around the box trying to flick it into Mbappe. That must bruise his ego a bit, considering why he left Barca in the first place, and he left to just spoon-feed another player. In Barcelona, you could see he'd get pissed off at Suarez sometimes, having to, give it to Suarez constantly and have him steal the limelight. It's a strange one. Should he have left Barca? I think time proved that that was the right decision. But going to PSG perhaps wasn't the right move. Maybe a move to Man City would have been wiser.
But do you think he could have survived in Premier League?
What, against? I could see Højbjerg snapping him in half and then spending 5 minutes rolling on the floor.
Exactly. So
if there was any team that he could have done well in, it would have been City or Liverpool.
I don't know. I don't think Neymar really fits with the image of Liverpool. Think about it.
Imagery, no, but the Klopp system, perhaps.
But I don't think he's the kind of player who's willing to like run.
Yeah, I take that back. That was a stupid thing for me to say. I actually don't think. I actually don't think he fits the Klopp system.
No way.
Brain dead moment. Solves everyone. But yeah, no, he definitely fits City. Of all the teams he fits, it would definitely be City.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because like City can afford to carry a luxury player or two with how well implemented their possession game is.
Yeah, agree.
That was probably the right move as opposed to PSG, and I don't know, I find it hard to respect him because obviously like the baseline level of respect is there, but like compared to other all-time greats that we're asking whether he is, because to go to the French league is a step down. No matter what you say, it's a step down.
It's not even Serie A, it's Ligue 1. Huge step down.
People could already make the argument that La Liga is a bit of a farmers league. Like the top 2 or 3 are elite, but the rest of it, fucking Eibar, them teams. Really?
Yeah,
You could already say that's like a stat padding league. And to go from what's already perceived to be a stat padding league to an even worse league where like there are compilations of goalkeepers not goalkeeping, defenders clearing it into their own goal. Such embarrassing defending. To go there and then to stat pad and to dribble past these
definitely.
absolute farmers with two left feet. It's like, why? That's such a weird move to make if you want it to be considered a great.
But I think for a player like Neymar, he considers more about money rather than his career. I mean, of course, like if you're a footballer, of course you would think about your career, but PSG paid a lot of money for him, and I don't think he could have turned it down.
I
And also,
mean,
that was a place where he could outshine everyone. He wants to be like the main star.
when you say money, do you mean like by branding and things like that? Like his image?
His image, his wage, the transfer fee.
Because he's got such a weird like setup, which is kind of unorthodox for a footballer if you think about it. Like he was set
Yeah,
up early on to be kind of like the super Brazilian football idol by his parents. They kind of raised him
I
and
know.
like managed him like some I don't know, like some demigod child prodigy. It must have been such a weird
Yeah.
childhood to live. And then for him to keep his dad's name and just call himself Junior, and we all know, okay, don't cast any aspersions, but we've all seen the videos of him slapping his mom's bum and oddly close sibling relationships. Make of that what you will. I'm not saying anything myself,
Yeah.
but
Comment down below what you think.
so he's just fucking weird. He must be so family oriented, to put it kindly. So, so it
Ooh.
seemed to me like, I don't know, maybe his dad pulled him aside on the night of that Remendata victory over PSG, where, he was really the star man that day. Maybe a
Hmm.
standout performance of his career. And I think he took exception to the newspapers printing images of Messi celebrating the next day as
Right.
opposed to Neymar.
Yeah.
So, completely understandable. And maybe his dad pulled him aside and said, hey, this is not good for our brand. Like, you pulled a GOAT performance, but they're taking pictures of this guy instead who on this particular game didn't do as well as you did. So go to the French league and you have all these dribbles. You can enhance your brand. You can pull out your greatest show pony tricks and it'll look
Hmm.
great. Imagine the sponsor deals. And on top of all of that, you could write history by winning the Champions League for PSG. But that
That's true. Yeah.
sadly has not happened, that last part. If he had done that last part, I think it caps all of that off and makes the whole world say, fair enough. Fair enough
Hmm.
that you went there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unlucky that PSG played Man City. If they played against Chelsea, I think they had the chance.
I agree. They definitely stood
Um,
a better chance against Chelsea.
we're talking about probably the best Man City side right now.
100%. Like, their defense is so mean, honestly. Like, it has to be
Not
emphasized.
just not just that, but midfield, the forward, everything.
I mean, they're playing without a recognised striker. Debatably, they had a stronger forward line 2 or 3 seasons ago. Aguero, like a
Hmm.
fit Raheem Sterling, Sané. But again, it's kind of similar to the PSG journey. Like when they had the ability, they didn't have the bottle, and City didn't have the bottle.
Right.
When ability declined, they got more experience from it. And to top it all off, City completely refreshed their backline, and the spine of the team is very strong now.
Yeah.
Whereas PSG, their moment, I think, has kind of passed. I don't see them doing better than a quarterfinal appearance from now on until they totally refresh the team. I get Pochettino's gone there now, and they're saying this is the start of a new project. But Neymar's 28, 29 now.
He's
Mbappe,
getting old, isn't
probably.
he?
Yeah, I think we discussed this before, but like Brazilian athletes have the tendency to decline faster because like their game is so based on tricks and flair, and that requires a level of athleticism that naturally declines at that age. And very few players can adapt to their physical quality slowing down and rely
Hmm.
totally on their technical side of the game. And I don't see a role where Neymar can play where he's completely reliant on that. I don't see him being moved back to center midfield. He's never been the poacher, so he can't really go center forward. And he's already playing in a league which is supposed to be easier. So, and if you look at his goal stats, they've been declining ever since his first season at Paris.
Right.
This season has easily been his worst in terms of goals and assists. He's gone so many games without a goal. He's already slowing down. He's already showing very early signs of it. So
Yeah.
he's not winning the Champions League, and he's not doing it with PSG. And like maybe it's me getting older, but I do kind of feel sad for him on a personal note. But hey, he's won one
Why?
already, and some people never win one, so Fuck him!
Why are you sad about him?
I mean, like, just on a personal note, like, football fans sometimes with the tribalism, some Man United fans like sing Gerrard's never won the Premier League and stuff like that. I'm not a Liverpool fan. Like, as a human being, you wouldn't just go, oh yeah, I hope he never wins. It's just so depressing. That's just so
Yeah,
sad.
but I think as a footballer, they're expected to be, sort of humble. But especially like back in Barca, I think the reason why he moved to PSG, that just goes to show you that, he's just an arrogant person, self-centered person. Because if you are really a great player, maybe you will have a different mindset. Maybe he could think to himself that, oh, maybe if I learn from the best players like Messi, Suarez, I could turn out to be a better player.
Yeah, totally. Most great players don't try to be great players. Most great players try to be, great teammates.
Right.
The ones that win a lot. Obviously, the exceptions like your Ronaldos and Ibrahimovic's that are, very solely based on ego. But Messi never really cared about, Ballon d'Ors and things like that.
No, I didn't.
At Barca, he often, like passed off his penalties to, one of Suarez or Neymar. Here, have a go. Your turn. You can definitely see Neymar not doing that. The minute he got there, he argued with Cavani over, hey, I'm taking this penalty. And when Cavani's like their all-time leading goal scorer, all time, he's like probably the number one player in history, tied with maybe Ibrahimovic. And to show that complete lack of respect for him and be like, hey, I'm taking the penalty. You've been here for 2 minutes! I do agree that there's something in that, and some of his interview answers were not the most savory for a Paris fan, so he's not the best loved there either. I don't know if you've seen, someone asked him what your best game ever was when he played for PSG. Do you know what he said?
No clue.
When I knocked PSG out with Barcelona, that was my best game.
What, you serious?
Yeah, he said that, and like, even if it's true, and I think it is true, but like, have some respect. These guys are your current employers. Like, you don't want to say that publicly.
See, this is what I mean exactly. He thinks he's bigger than the club.
Yeah, I try not to cast aspersions on people without watching them enough. I don't think I've watched him enough, but those few examples really illustrate your point there. I find it difficult to find some sort of defense for him. Yeah, anyways, he might be remembered as that guy, and maybe his low light was the last World Cup. That was maybe the official passing of the torch moment from him to Mbappe, because, Mbappe was still just a talent going in rather than, a world beater, and Neymar was the world beater because he had that amazing first season at PSG where his goal tally was the best ever seen from him, and that was the World Cup that sort of changed the image, because he scored 2 tap-ins, but we remember him for, sluggish performances, being outclassed by Belgium, and an amazing Hazard performance, and him rolling around on the floor and that being clipped up into memes. Whereas Mbappe launched himself onto the world scene in that World Cup. That double against Argentina, sprinting past Rojo. I mean, that can't be hard, but still, the speed he showed, like, that was maybe the moment everything changed, and he might just be remembered as the guy rolling around on the turf that World Cup. Sadly, he's fucked his career. He has so much talent.
I mean, that's the difference between Neymar and Mbappe. Mbappe won the World Cup and Neymar didn't.
Yeah.
That sole reason can sort of make a difference between Neymar and Mbappe.
Yeah, and like the ego power dynamic must have completely changed when he got back, because like in the first season, in a lot of interviews, he acted as if he was Messi. He said, I'll be to Mbappe what Messi was to me. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You're not Messi. And he acted as if he was so much better than Mbappe, and he kind of mocked him as well. Like, he called him Donatello from Ninja Turtle.
Really?
Imagine being Mbappe coming back after winning a World Cup. I'm better than you now. You can't act like this anymore.
I think like Messi and Ronaldo are sort of on the other level. To Neymar, all the players in the world, I think Messi and Ronaldo are just on their own level.
For sure.
And the rest are just below them. I mean, sure, like Neymar isn't far off there, but I think he should have won at least a few more trophies if he wants to make that kind of statement.
Yeah, as good as he is, does it in, the easy leagues, Brazil League, La Liga, Ligue 1. I don't think he's even as good as, he had a short peak, but he isn't as good as Ronaldinho. He isn't as good as Ronaldo, the Brazilian one. He had maybe a better longevity, but he's already slowing down now. And, Ronaldinho was basically done at the top level at 26, 27, but in his prime, he was something else. Scored clutch goals, clutch assists, that toe poke against Chelsea. And he had a starring role in like leading Brazil to the World Cup win. And as short as his prime was, he is better than Neymar, in my opinion.
He's definitely better.